Hello, gorgeous soul friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Hannah. Welcome to Moses' channel. And this is your pick a card reading, Who Were You in a Past Life? So we're going to be looking into each of the individual piles and we're going to be seeing who you were in a past life and how these energies are influencing circumstances in your life and how you can utilize this knowledge to improve your manifestation ability, to improve your life circumstances, and manifest the life that you desire. Because what people don't understand is that there are certain unconscious cycles that we get caught up in due to past lives and due to certain things that happened within our past lives that are creating patterns within our reality that can sometimes feel inescapable. So I apologize about the setup. I've been in the process of moving, so this is not my typical setup, but it's just gonna have to do for now. So you can go ahead and pick between groups 1, 2, and 3. You can select the timestamp down below and it'll take you directly to your reading. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, group 1, this is your set of cards. Let's go ahead and see what you have here. You have the 5 of Swords, the 5 of Wands. You have the Queen of Cups. You have the 3 of Cups. It's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. And free yourself. So, the immediate message that I'm picking up right off the bat here, group 1, is that many of you were a great warrior in a past life. There's a warrior spirit that I think a lot of you have within you. Some of you may be interested in fighting, martial arts, boxing, MMA, all of that stuff. You might even just have had like brothers or sisters when you were young and maybe you guys used to like wrestle or play fight or something like that. There's this energy of the warrior, the fighter spirit. So a lot of you have maybe come into a lot of trials and tribulations in this lifetime with this full moon in Scorpio energy. This is somebody who, deals with a lot of hardship, and they have dealt with a lot of hardship in their past. So I feel like over the course of your life, maybe even over the course of the past 3 to 5 years specifically, there's been some kind of trial or tribulation that has been very emotional for you, that I think you are really desiring to free yourself from. And this could be a situation with friends. This could be a situation with partners. Maybe some of you feel like you've been constantly cheated on or something like that. Or there's just like an energy of like you feel like your friends constantly betray you, or you feel like you're constantly entrapped in stuff. Like somebody may have dealt with like legal situations. Like maybe somebody went to jail for like alcohol use or something like that. And I'm picking up that in a past life, some of you may have had an alcohol addiction with this Queen of Cups and 3 of Cups and free yourself, and that may have carried over into this life. So if some of you struggle with addiction to alcohol and drinking and partying and stuff like that, I do believe that comes from a past life where some of you were quite celebrated. I really think that either you were like a warrior or maybe you were a royal with the Queen of Cups. The 3 of Cups is all about celebration. It's all about partying, having fun, having a great time, celebrating something. With the 5 of Wands, this indicates that, you may have been celebrated for some battles. If you find yourself being like a fighter or you find yourself with that warrior spirit energy, you're very much the type to persevere through problems, through dilemmas. It's probably because you were a warrior in a past life. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you were like a tribal warrior. I mean, maybe for some of you, yes. But some of you may have been like a knight. You may have been, a soldier. Maybe you were in like World War II or something like that. Maybe some of you feel very called to the military in this lifetime, or you feel very called to like special forces or something like that, or feeling very called to just the warrior type energy, right? Like doesn't have to necessarily be a literal warrior. It just means that you have that fighter spirit within you. Maybe when you were young, you may have gotten in a lot of fights, right? I'm seeing a girl who has older brothers. Like you may have come from a family of a lot of kids or a family of a lot of brothers, and maybe you used to fight with these brothers, like you used to play fight with these brothers or something like that. I'm seeing this energy of a girl, a female energy who has the warrior spirit. She's very much a fighter. She's very much kind of like a tomboy energy. It's possibly because you embodied this in your past life, right? Now, I'm seeing somebody who possibly even went on hunts for like maybe cryptids or something like that. I know that's kind of a strange message, but you have the full moon in Scorpio, and then you have this free yourself with the unicorn on it. This gives me the energy of somebody maybe discovering something that was hidden, discovering something that was that wasn't well known. So this could also be an energy that you're embodying. Maybe you were a well-renowned scientist, or maybe you were somebody who made a lot of discoveries, an archaeologist. Maybe this is something you're interested in this lifetime. It comes from a previous incarnation where you were possibly world-renowned for what you did. You were world-renowned for some kind of discovery. You were possibly world-renowned for maybe a battle win. But either way, Group 1, there's an energy of being celebrated for something. Like you were frequently celebrated in your past life. You had a lot of accolades. You had a lot of people who really looked up to you. And that energy has carried over into this lifetime. And I feel like some of you have possibly even taken on this energy as like possibly like a burden, because the free yourself energy gives me the impression that some of you may feel like this weight is way too big to carry. So maybe you're the oldest of your siblings, and you have a lot of people, like you have your siblings looking up to you. Maybe you're the first one in your family to go to college, to go to school, and you have that whole group of people looking up to you because you know what you've done. And it feels like a burden. It feels like it's a lot of weight to carry on your shoulders. You may even have family members who are like jealous of you, or friends who are like kind of jealous of you sometimes. Just because there's a lot that I think you really embody. And it's because, again, it comes from this past life where you had a lot of accolades. You had a lot of awards. You possibly won awards for stuff. I'm seeing like the Medal of Honor, the Purple Heart, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. And, some of you may have had dreams, like maybe some of you have frequent dreams about war, or you have frequent dreams about the military or something like that, or being in the military, being in wars or fighting or something. It comes from this previous incarnation. I'm hearing a decorated soldier, like somebody was quite decorated in their past life. And you may find yourself being very interested in these subjects. Even if you're not in the military, you might have a fascination with like World War II, or you might have a fascination with the Civil War, or like a certain war that was very famous in your country, or very famous for its time. It's probably because you incarnated from that period. But I do see this energy where, somebody here also is an outspoken individual. This is somebody who speaks their mind. They don't care what anybody thinks. And it possibly can sometimes cause turmoil and conflict. So maybe you're the type that, I'm seeing somebody who comes from a culture where women aren't really allowed to speak up about certain subjects. It's like women aren't allowed to have an opinion on certain subjects, but you might be a woman who has opinions on many of these subjects, and it possibly gets a lot of people upset. So this kind of comes from an era where you may have been like a scientist, again, like an archaeologist, or, a doctor or something like that. Somebody who discovered something, or you spoke out against concepts that were maybe taboo for the time. And maybe you got thrown in jail for them or something like that. You might have gotten thrown in jail for some of these, kind of like a Nostradamus type of thing, or not even Nostradamus, but who is it? There was a prophet that got thrown in jail. It might have been Nostradamus. I don't really remember, but either way, there's like a burden that comes with this knowledge, right? And that's what I'm seeing here. Some of you may have found frequent turmoil with family, friends, peers, coworkers, whatever, because you're outspoken. You speak your mind. You talk about things that maybe people don't typically talk about. And you may feel like sometimes you're shunned for it. Now, it comes from this era where you may have discovered something, or you may have been onto something that maybe the time period, you were a little ahead of your time, is what I'm seeing. And you may still feel that in this current incarnation. You might feel a little ahead of your time. So the way you can work with these energies is to continue to speak your mind, to continue to not really care what anybody thinks, because I do think some of you are on a path to celebration, but being celebrated again in this lifetime. That cycle is going to repeat so long as you maintain that energy of not letting anybody snuff you out, not letting anybody snuff your opinions out, not letting anybody say anything to deter you from what you're passionate about. So this could be somebody who, maybe you're a girl and you're really into like the military and you're really into fighting and all of that stuff, but maybe your friends tell you like, oh no, that's a boy thing, that's something that's for boys. Or maybe you're a woman who's really into science or something like that. I'm seeing there's a strong feminine presence in this group. Now, you might be a man and you might be very into feminine things. Maybe you're a man who's into fashion. Maybe you're a man who's into jewelry and all of that stuff, makeup. It feels like a gender who's interested in things that are considered to be of the other gender, right? So a girl who's interested in kind of boy stuff, quote unquote boy stuff, and then a boy who might be interested in quote unquote girl stuff, right? At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Like there's no limit on what we can enjoy and what our interests are. And that's why I'm saying this, because I think some of you really need to hear it, because you have like family or friends or people in your life who might make fun of you, or they might say things that kind of bother you around these interests that you have. And it comes from this incarnation where you were possibly shunned or ridiculed or even jailed. Some of you may have even been jailed for your opinions, right? And I think some of you have possibly even manifested a scenario where maybe you have parents, you have friends, family members, school, whatever, that kind of controls the way that you live your life. And I think some of you have fallen into that control. And this message right here is a reminder to continue to speak your mind, continue to be yourself, continue to not care what anybody thinks. Don't let anybody snuff your opinions out. If you're a woman who likes science, or you're a woman who likes, medical stuff, or you're a woman who likes fighting and all of that, continue to enjoy those things. Like, don't let anybody tell you what to like and what to dislike, is kind of what I'm seeing. Because there's a burden around this. There's a burden around this energy of liking something, of having an interest in something. But you're very much a fighter spirit. I do think a lot of you have a big purpose in this life. I think some of you are going to be the ones to you're going to have to take on the burden of whatever this is, the trials and tribulations of whatever this is, whatever these interests that you have are, to kind of be the one to show your family, to show your friends, like, hey, it's okay for people to like these things. It's okay for women to like these things. It's okay for boys to like these things. You're the one that's really changing the minds and the perspectives of the people around you. And it's really, really wonderful. But that is what I'm seeing here, group 1. Please let me know in the comments what group you were and how these messages resonated with you. If you'd like to book a personal reading, my website will be in the description box below, madamdevoux.com. I'm doing 50% off your first reading, so you can go to my website and check out all the readings I offer there. But other than that, I will see you later. Take care and have a beautiful rest of your day, group 1. Bye-bye. All right, group 2, this is your set of cards. Let's see what you have here. Temperance. The 8 of Cups. The Ace of Coins. Communication is key. New moon in Gemini. And love yourself first. So, what I'm picking up here, group 2, is in your past life, you were somebody who had a lot of different skills. You're possibly very, very skilled, and this is carried over. I think this is something that you still embody in this lifetime. You could have strong Gemini or Sagittarius placements in your chart, but I do see someone who has a lot of varied interests. Notice how this person in the card has a lot of different hands, and those hands are doing a lot of different things. So some of you may be into, making jewelry and making music and archery, and botany, and you know, there's just all of these unique interests that some of you have, that I think can make you really confused about where you want to go and what path you want to go down in life. And this comes from an era where I think some of you may have been... Now, this kind of will split into two different messages. Some of you may have been like a monk or something like that, or you may have been somebody who was very spiritual in your past life, and you spent a lot of time refining different skills because there was nothing else for you to do. It was like all you could do was refine different skills. Maybe you were somebody who was of royalty or something like that, or of wealth, and you just had a lot of money and time to really invest into different skills. Now, I do think that there is something that maybe some of you feel a lot of regret for. And this is a cycle that continues to repeat in almost every single lifetime. It's like you walk away from something. You walk away from your dreams, you walk away from your passions to pursue money. And I think some of you are kind of in the process of this happening right now, and this is a cycle that's repeating itself. So the key here is to focus on yourself first. Focus on what you love first. That's the love yourself first. And really focusing on who you truly are. Because I think some of you have, again, a lot of different interests and a lot of varied aspects of self. And it can be kind of hard to, it can be kind of difficult to really hone in on one particular thing. So you may feel a little distracted sometimes. You may feel a little bit kind of confused about what you want to do and where you want to go in life. I feel like there was a scenario. Some of you may have been from ancient Egypt. You may feel very connected to Egypt. You may feel very connected to ancient India. I'm just seeing somebody who was very spiritual. They come from a culture that is very, very, very spiritual, or was very, very spiritual. They incarnated into a culture that was very spiritual. Now, I really, really think that some of you have this repeated cycle that seems to happen in every single lifetime where you're presented with the opportunity to pursue your passions, but you might choose money instead. And it makes you very unhappy. And I think that some of you, again, are kind of going through this same cycle in this current incarnation. You know, you pursue money instead of pursuing your passions. Now, money isn't a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's not bad to pursue money and to want to have security, you know, but when it comes to outweighing the time that you're investing into your passions, I think that's where it can become a little imbalanced, because you're focusing a little bit too hard on the money and not enough on the passions, not enough on what you love, and you end up falling short. This can lead to depression. This can lead to dissatisfaction of life, feeling unfulfilled. And I think that if you really, really invested yourself into your passions and really had patience with yourself, because that's a big thing that I think a lot of you have maybe noticed as a cycle too, is this lack of patience, investing a lot into something and then not seeing the results right off the bat and then giving up. Because I feel like some of you in a past life were somebody who was very, very gifted and you had a lot to offer, but you might have given up on something really big, really early. And this cycle repeats in the current lifetime. So the big thing that I'm picking up here is don't give up. Don't give up on your passions. You know, the money will come. Pursue your passions and the money will come. The money will follow you. I also feel like this has to do with love too. Like some of you may have pursued a romantic relationship over your passions. Like somebody here in a past life gave up on their passions to maybe marry somebody who was wealthy, or just marry somebody in general. Because maybe other people were telling them, like, oh, you need to get married now, you know, you're getting old, like, you need to get married, like, what's gonna happen, like, you know, it's that kind of energy. Where I think somebody's eyes were set on a relationship and they ended up regretting this. They ended up regretting this because they walked away from something that made them very, very happy in order to pursue a relationship. Now, you can have both, but again, it's all about time management. It's all about how you manage your time, and it's all about priorities, where you're putting your priorities, where your priorities lie. So I really think that for some of you, I don't know, some of you could have been like a expert hairstylist in a past life. I don't know why that's coming up. But for some of you, you may have been like an expert hairstylist. You might have been like a celebrity hairstylist or something like that. Or maybe that was something you were trying to pursue. Maybe that's something you're trying to pursue in this current incarnation. It's because your soul is connected to that past life where you were somebody who worked on celebrities or something like that. Like, I'm seeing somebody who maybe lived in like the 1950s, the 1960s, and was a hairstylist for celebrities during like the early old Hollywood era. Like the old Hollywood glamour, all of that stuff. That might be something you feel very interested in now too. You might find yourself feeling interested in pinup, in like kind of 1950s attire, you know, mid-century attire, mid-century hairstyles, all of that stuff, mid-century makeup. That might be something that you find yourself being very interested in now. It's because you lived in that period and you were possibly very influential in that period, or you were trying to do something very influential in that period. But I do feel like there is an energy of needing to focus more on your passions, because you're very talented, group 2. You're very gifted with a lot of different things. And that's something that has, you know, time and time again come up over the course of each lifetime that you've had, where you've walked away right before you hit the finish line. You know, this could also be a situation where somebody runs away from what they have in order to find love. There may have been a circumstance in a past life where somebody maybe was not allowed to marry somebody, so they secretly like leave and go marry this person. Now, I know that's like really specific, but some of you may be noticing patterns of this in this current lifetime too, where, you know, maybe you're wanting to marry somebody, but there's somebody else that other people have in mind. Maybe this is like an arranged marriage type of situation. Like, I'm seeing somebody who's secretly maybe walking away from an arranged marriage to go love somebody that they actually care about, that they love on the reals. They love this person for real, whereas the other person might just be arranged, or it might be like a conventional, no, sorry, not conventional, convenient marriage. That's what I'm seeing. Somebody marries for convenience. In a past life, somebody's married for convenience, and I think that this repeats in every lifetime. And it may be something that keeps one bound to a sense of dissatisfaction. So this is the time to break that cycle, you know, to truly go after who you want, to truly live for you. That's a theme that I also picked up in group 1 too. So some of you may have watched group 1's reading. There's this energy of being outspoken and, you know, really living for yourself rather than living for other people. Because I think for some of you, over the course of each lifetime, you've always had people in your ear telling you what you should be doing. And you've maybe kind of listened to them. But I think you're being presented with an opportunity in this lifetime to break that. To break that and to truly live for you. And some of you may have dreams, like you might have dreams about a lover, or there might be dreams about a person that you haven't met yet or something like that. This person was with you in a past life. There's a person that you're going to meet here, possibly over the course of the next 8 months to a year, who is from a past life. Or you may have met them in the past 8 months to a year. But there's somebody who either you've been dreaming about or you maybe dreamt about this person before you met them. This person is from your past life. This is possibly the person that you ran away with or something like that. There's somebody here that you might run away with, or I don't know. There's an energy of like running away with somebody. And you might find that this person manifests in your life very soon, if they haven't already. But the love yourself first just keeps coming up to say, you know, focus on you, like focus on what you want. Love-wise, career-wise, anything. You know, and really be honest with yourself. And be honest with those around you. Communication is key. Tell the people who are kind of pushing certain things on you how you feel. Don't be afraid to speak your mind, because I think you'll be pretty satisfied with the outcome. But there is an energy of somebody running away with a lover, and that seems to kind of happen in every single lifetime. There's a person that you meet in every single lifetime, and you guys like run away together or something like that. There's an energy of running away together with somebody, and I think that's going to happen again in this lifetime. So don't be surprised if you meet somebody and you immediately run away with them. You guys leave, maybe go to another country together, or you move somewhere together or something like that. You might already be dreaming of this person. There might be somebody that you see recurringly in your dreams. You're dreaming about this past life lover. But that's what I'm seeing here, group 2. If you'd like to book a personal reading, go ahead and click on the link down below in the description box. It'll take you to my website and you can book there. I do have a 50% off for first timers when you use the code Empress at checkout, so you can see all of that on my website. Feel free to leave a comment and let me know how this reading resonated with you and what group you were. I'd love to know. And that's it. Take care and have a beautiful rest of your day, group 2. Bye-bye. All right, group 3, this is your set of cards. Let's see what you have here. The Hierophant. The 10 of Coins. The 6 of Swords. Or sorry, the 6 of Wands. I keep doing this. I did this with group 1 too. I said swords when I meant to say wands. It's time to take action. And calling in your soulmate. Interesting. Some of you may be from group 2, or you may want to watch group 2's reading because there might be some messages for you in there. But what I'm picking up right off the bat is that some of you have a deeply, deeply, deeply intertwined connection to somebody. Like there is somebody here, group 3, that you have met in every single lifetime, and you guys marry and you grow old together in every life. I mean, this is twin flame energy. This is soulmate energy right here. You meet them and you guys have a lot of kids. You get married. You are together forever, for a very long time. This is a forever connection. Like this is a connection that lasts literally forever, crosses lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. So there might be somebody who you meet, or you may have met them already, who you're very in love with, or you connect with this person on a deep level. And it feels as though you've met them before. You might feel that around them. And I'm getting the energy of the hero, somebody who is a hero. They may have come in and like saved the day with something, or they may have helped you with something, or they might help you with something. That seems to be a recurring theme. This is like the knight and the damsel in distress vibes. You know what I mean? This seems to be like white knight energy. Whoever this person is, in every single lifetime, this person always seems to come through and save the day. This could be somebody who's in the military. They may have been like a knight in a past life. I'm telling you, like it might have been the knight and the princess. Some of you were in like a Native American tribe in your previous lifetime. You might feel very connected to tribal energy, to tribal dancing, tribal makeup, tribal history. It might be Native American history. It might be Afro-Indigenous history. All of that stuff. It can be any kind of indigenous tribe. It doesn't just have to be one or the other. You know what I mean? It can be any. I do feel like there's somebody here who feels very connected to indigenous cultures. And it's because you are incarnated from those cultures. You might even find lineage to those cultures too. Especially with the Six of Wands, this is also kind of that indigenous style of imagery. But I do see the energy of a leader. You know, some of you may have been like the chief of a tribe, or you might have been like, you know, the warrior, the head warrior, the people who led the tribe into battle or whatever. But there is an energy of a leader, like a strong leader energy with the Hierophant, the Ten of Coins, and the Six of Wands, especially with the Aries, the new moon in Aries energy. This is a leader. This is somebody who leads other people. So you may have been the head honcho in a past life, and this might continue to manifest in this current incarnation. Maybe you find yourself in manager roles. You know what I mean? Whenever you're working, you might take on the role of like a manager or a leader whenever you do work, or whenever you're in school, maybe you're kind of the one that leads all the school projects, you know, or you're the one that kind of is, again, like the head honcho. You kind of take over and lead people. You know, some of you could have been like the eldest sibling. Maybe you had a lot of siblings, and maybe you were kind of the one that took care of them all. And you were kind of the one that was like the head influence of these people or of these siblings. Or maybe it was like cousins. Like I just see a really big family. Family has been something that's always been important to you in every single lifetime. That's what I pick up. Family is very, very important in every single lifetime. You're very close to your family. You maintain a close relationship to your family in every single lifetime. And even if you're watching this video right now and you're like, Hannah, I am not close to my family. They get on my freaking nerves. I do not like them. I don't talk to them. We're in no contact right now. Just have patience, because I do think one day you will be very close to them and you will find that they are the most important people in your life. So, you know, there's a message for that. But I do feel like there is this energy of being the head, a leader, and that energy really seems to radiate throughout each lifetime. And I think in a past life too, you were very wealthy. Again, it's that leadership energy. You may have had a lot of money, you may have had a lot of resources, and that may manifest in this lifetime too. You might be very wealthy in this lifetime, or you might be destined for wealth in this lifetime. I'm hearing generational wealth. Maybe there's like some kind of generational wealth that you have. Even if you don't currently have it right now, you might receive some kind of generational wealth in this lifetime. But there is this energy of a leader, of somebody who has a lot. They're abundant. They're very, very abundant, and they're abundant in every single lifetime. You seem to be very blessed in every single lifetime financially. You know, even if you're not super wealthy and you don't consider yourself rich, like, you might still be very well off. You know what I mean? It's like you're taken care of. You're comfortable. You've never really had to experience poverty because of this energy, because of this blessing. It's almost like Spirit has blessed you in every single lifetime. You've always been born into wealth, or you've always been born into comfort. You've always had comfort around you. Now, what I'm really picking up here is there's somebody who's very much into fashion. You know, this might have been something that you did in every single lifetime. You might have been an eclectic fashion designer. You kind of did avant-garde type of stuff. You know what I mean? It was very different for the time. You may have been somebody who did kind of avant-garde, you know, outside of the box, very eclectic stuff. You may even find that you used, you know, indigenous styles in fashion design. Like this, there might be somebody in here who's a fashion designer. You might be going to fashion school. You might be interested in going to fashion school. Or maybe you're just a fashion enthusiast, you know what I mean? But you find that your inspiration is derived from indigenous cultures. You may also find a lot of inspiration in Japanese fashion or something around Japan. I'm seeing is very, very prominent, or something around China, East Asia, and indigenous cultures. It seems to be is a very, very strong influence. Some of you may have been incarnated in Japan in a past life. But what I'm picking up here with this calling in your soulmate, you know, I think that there's a lot of people, a lot of you in this reading have lived many, 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 many lives. And you've met a lot of people and a lot of souls over the course of those many, 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 many lives. So you have a lot of soulmates. You have a lot of people that you meet that you feel are very familiar. You know, there's a familiar essence to these people. There's just something about them that really feels home-like. You know, there's an energy of feeling homey. You may even find that in this lifetime, you're drawn to certain places that feel like home. It feels like home when you get there. Maybe you've never been there before, but it's just like whenever you're there, it feels like you're home, right? So some of you may find your home in Japan. You might find your home in like the Southwest United States. You might find your home in certain parts of Africa. You might find your home in, you know, southern Mexico, central Mexico, or even like South America. Some of you may have a strong calling to these places because you incarnated there at certain points in your soul's journey. But I really do see this energy of a strong soulmate figure, somebody who you have incarnated with multiple times. In every single lifetime, you seem to find this person. And I'm getting chills as I say this. There's somebody here who it's just like there's just such a deep love. I mean, it's like you literally marry this person again and again and again and again in every single lifetime. And it's really, really wonderful. And I think it's one of those marriages that lasts, you know, literally till death do us part. You know, this is a till death do us part type of deal. It's very, very deep and very committed with the 10 of coins and the Hierophant. Now, I feel like some of you are currently on a journey where you're really having to kind of go against the grain, going back to that avant-garde type of energy, where you're doing something very different from your peers, or you're doing something very different from the people around you. You're like a trendsetter, honestly. You're really like a trendsetter, group 3, and I think it comes from that era where maybe you were a fashion designer or something like that. There's just this energy of being somebody who sets the trends. They're a leader. They're somebody who kind of leads and everybody else seems to follow. Notice how this woman here is on this horse and you can see the other spears in the background. So there's other people in the background who are following her and who are really interested in where she's going. But she doesn't necessarily see them, right? She's looking ahead. She's too busy looking ahead at the 10 of coins. She's looking ahead at the future, at the security. And these people are following her. So there's an energy of you being very influential in this lifetime. Over the course of every lifetime, you're very influential. And that's something that I really picked up with every single group. It seems like there's a lot of leaders in this, you know, subscription base or subscriber base. There's a lot of leaders here, right? There's a lot of people who are really leading others. You might find a lot of messages for you in group 1 as well. You know, you could watch all the readings and you might find messages in every single reading. But I really do think that you're somebody who will possibly win a lot of awards for something artistic, for something eclectic. It's like you're doing something very different and it feels like it has something to do with art, or it has something to do with a creative ability. And some of you might find in this lifetime records or like evidence of one of your past lives. Like maybe you find like a necklace, or maybe you find like, you know, some remains of somebody who you feel might have been your past life incarnation, or maybe you find documents or something like that of somebody who you feel like could have been you in a past life. I don't know why, but I'm seeing somebody who finds evidence of something related to their own past life. Now, with this calling in your soulmate, I really, really get the energy that someone here has possibly already met their soulmate or is going to meet their soulmate very soon. And it's that same cycle repeating over and over again. It's that cycle of love and commitment. Again, group 3, you have somebody here who you have met over and over and over and over and over again in every single lifetime, and you have been with this person in every single lifetime till death do us part. It's beautiful. It's really, really, really beautiful. And I feel like this person has dark hair. I feel like they've got really, really dark hair. If they're a man, If they're a woman, they might have lighter hair. They might have blonde hair. It might even be kind of like platinum, like white. But if it's a man, it might be darker hair. And he might even have long hair. It might be a man who has very long hair. But there is this energy of you meeting somebody very, very prominent, and you've met this person before, and there's a lot of people in your life that you've met before. Maybe a lot of your family. You know, they often say that we choose our family members before we come into the incarnation. So, you know, I really do think that you feel a very strong soulmate bond to even your family. Even if you don't right now, you will. You will at some point. Because again, family is the most important thing to you. And it's even if you don't see it yet, it's going to become the most important thing to you. So that is what I'm seeing here, group 3. If you'd like to book a personal reading, go ahead and click the link down below in the description box. It'll take you to my website and you can book there. First timers will get 50% off their tarot reading when they use the code Empress. So you can go ahead and check that out in the description box. Feel free to leave a comment and let me know how this reading resonated with you and what group you were. I would love to know. Take care and have a beautiful rest of your day, group 3. Bye-bye.